Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture of literature. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we are here for a book haul. Is that correct, Dalton?
Big old stack of books, a procrastination book haul. I showed up, I'm like, you know what we should do? We should go to the Barnes & Noble. I don't feel like doing anything. Let's go to the Barnes & Noble.
Daddy, will you take me shopping?
Take me to the store, Daddy. I'd like to get... You are my father, my God. Take me to the bookstore, Father. No, absolutely not. You already have too many you aren't going to read anyway.
But we did.
We did. It happened. It was a thing.
I think we should start where we have a difference in our stats.
Yeah, certainly.
I had to buy Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Why, Dalton? Tell him.
I don't feel like you should ever have to say that I had to buy Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I love Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That is a fun book. It is considered a classic of literature.
No, it is not.
Oh, yeah.
No, it is
not.
not.
Yeah. Douglas Adams is way up there on, like, the list of fine literature.
Then how come we had to go all the way to the sci-fi section to find it?
Because it is sci-fi. It's that good cross between genre fiction and good fiction.
Well, they put Stephen King in the regular fiction section.
I've seen a lot of places
So
where
the
Stephen King is in the
bar
horror section.
The bar is not that high at old Barnes & Noble.
At the Hastings, Stephen King used to be in the horror section.
Well, Hastings was a slaughterhouse of ideas. Speaking of slaughterhouse, we picked something up. But this was published in 1979.
Tell me about it.
So it's not a classic.
What do you know about Hitchhiker's Guide?
I know what you have said, and that's that you love it.
Yeah? Anything else beyond that? God, there's a great quote very early on, and I wish I could just find it on a whim.
I think there is a bit about atheism in there, but I'm not positive.
That's exactly the quote I was looking for. At one point, they're talking about the idea of God, and somebody's having a conversation with God, and he informs God he doesn't exist, and God accepts it and vanishes in a puff of smoke, and it's just resolved because it just makes sense. There's a lot of good atheist stuff in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of humor in there, very dry, terrible humor, which I think is right up your alley. And I'm torn on this one. You're either going to really enjoy it, and I think you're going to be ashamed that you enjoyed it, or you're just going to absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I'm not against the idea of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm not against the idea. I'm not against reading it. Enough people like it that are of a respectable ilk, yourself discounted, that
Fair.
I will consider it before immediately writing it off. Like Harry Potter, I immediately wrote off.
Fair enough. Seems like a good in-between.
Yeah.
Where do you want to move on to next? What do we got next?
Speaking of Stephen King, we found something in the bargain bin. Gwendy's Button Box.
Nope.
Stephen King and Richard Shizmar. I have never heard of this.
I'm immediately over it because I looked at the back and saw the quotes, and the first one's from J.J. Abrams. Man, I love this story. Nope. I'm done with this before I've begun.
I will give this a chance. I am not against it. It looks as if it is perhaps... Flipping through the book, it looks like it might be Stephen King trying to write Neil Gaiman.
Okay.
I'm not positive, but I think it's worth attempting.
Okay.
We haven't done much Stephen King on the channel at all. I think the best way to maybe crack back into Stephen King is something with which neither of us is familiar.
This is a brand new Castle Rock novella. Are you familiar with the Castle Rock?
I know Fraggle Rock.
I was about ready to say, like, it sounds like Fraggle Rock, and, like,
That's
let me
where
tell
I got you.
I love Fraggle Rock.
That's where I got told.
I hope there are doozers in this. So I don't know, because it says Journey Back to Castle Rock and this chilling new novella by Stephen King. Did we get a sequel again?
I hope not. We always get sequels.
We were really good at getting the sequels, but I don't know anything about this. It is Stephen King, so I mean, I would imagine we have some Stephen King level of quality. But for $6.98,
yeah,
for a hardback,
yeah,
I think it's worth the dive.
Sure. Also in the bargain.
Yeah, you know what else was not worth the dive? That monstrosity.
Why was that not worth the dive?
Okay, so this is T.C. Boyle.
Yeah.
This is the Pteronauts.
T.C. Boyle has treated us well, except for his short story that was in the best short stories of 2017, which was garbage.
I will say, though, we read San Miguel, and I didn't like it at first. But boy, did it grow on me.
Yeah, it was. Your experience with San Miguel was weird. Your experience with San Miguel was sort of like wasabi sauce.
Okay.
You hated it. And then you were like, oh my god, I need more of that. It was just such a weird...
Okay.
You had a terrible response at first.
San Miguel was very different. Our review to San Miguel is on Strip Cover Lit, so
And no one's
please,
seen it, so.
by all means. It was very weird because the first half was told by one perspective and it was awful. Just gruelingly awful. And then that second perspective came in and it really clicked with me and I enjoyed it tremendously. And the ending is gorgeous.
Well, I think it's the third perspective that you liked.
The third, yes.
Yeah.
The third was the great one. The first one was awful. The second one was kind of the in-between, the transitional, which I'm like, all right, it's warming up. But to start that was terrible. So we see this monstrosity of 500 pages with old T.C. Boyle himself on the back, and God, that man is just disturbingly creepy.
He's a weird fella.
And I take a glance at this, I'm like, And I give it to Adrian. I said, did you read what it was about? And you're like, oh, that's got to be great. So I don't know where we're going with this. Do you want to read a little bit about this?
Well, the quote from NPR on the back is, like Updike with an old leather jacket and a borrowed pistol. I'm not sure even what that means, NPR, but it is 1994, and in the desert near Tillman, Arizona, 40 miles from Tucson, a grand experiment involving the future of humanity is underway. As climate change threatens the Earth, 8 scientists, 4 men and 4 women, dubbed the Terranauts, have been selected to live under glass in E2, a prototype of possible off-Earth colony with 5 biomes: rainforest, savanna, desert, ocean, and marsh. Closely monitored by an all-seeing mission control, this new Eden is both a scientific project and a momentous publicity stunt for eco-visionary Jeremiah Reed, aka GC. God, the Creator. In addition to their roles as medics, farmers, biologists, and survivalists, his young, strapping Terranauts must impress watchful visitors with a skeptical media curious to see if E2's environment will somehow be compromised. As the Terranauts face increased scrutiny and a host of disasters, both natural and of their own making, their mantra, nothing in, nothing out, becomes dangerously ferocious. A dangerously ferocious rallying cry. That's where I'll stop.
If this was anyone else but T.C. Boyle, I would dismiss it. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, sure, me too. I think that, so I don't know if this is based on it, but there was an experiment like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it went terribly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm imagining this is not going to end well.
Basically, people wanted to kill each other after a couple months, something like that.
Anyway, again, the hardback, the full big hardback for $6.98. It was worth it. I'll give it $7 of worth.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good.
Probably unironically, I believe we got, what was the other T.C. Boyle we read?
San Miguel. It was on discount
It was
as well.
on discount as well.
Absolutely.
And the place where I work, we do not sell books, but we bring in a box of discount books every summer. There's a T.C. Boyle in there. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But
This next one here, I actually am disappointed that I don't know a lot about it,
that's one of the reasons we picked it up. Neither of us has any idea what it's about,
which is concerning. Oh, there's pictures. Oh, boy.
which is concerning as well.
Absolutely. So this is John Steinbeck's The Pearl, the Penguin Classic Edition. I have not the foggiest as to what we've got ourselves into here.
For the diver Kino, finding a magnificent pearl means the promise of a better life for his impoverished family. His dream blinds him to the greed and suspicions the pearl arouses in him and his neighbors, and even his loving wife cannot temper his obsession or stem the events leading to tragedy. For Steinbeck, as Linda Wagner Martin writes in her introduction to Kino, and his wife illustrate the fall from innocence experienced by people who believe that wealth erases all problems. It's Steinbeck, so I trust it.
It could be good. It could be very good. But I don't know, man. I've never heard of it. And I feel like if it was great, it was Steinbeck, I'd know about it. But, honestly.
Well, some of my favorite... So I've read all of Hemingway's short stories.
Okay.
You read very few of the good ones in class. There's much better stuff out there than the ones you read in class.
Okay. Maybe this is just a little bit not as approachable as the other Steinbecks. Because I think Steinbeck's a very approachable author. Anybody can pick up Of Mice and Men
and visualize the happenings.
Yeah, but we'll see with this here. I think this does have potential, though. And for such a short story, I think it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. What do we got next?
A little bit of light reading. Some trashy romance novel that we happened upon. It was not in the clearance bin, but it probably should have been because no one's ever read it. It's by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Incorrect. That's actually, it's pronounced Theodore. It's German, and it's Dostoevsky.
The last name is French.
It's French, absolutely. So this is actually the acclaimed author of Anna Karenina, a great novel that Anya Karenina, that I once read.
Wrote Anya Karenina while he was living in Australia. Fyodor Dostoevsky, Notes from the Underground. This is a favorite of someone who is very near and dear to the booktube world, Jordan Peterson.
Everyone's viewing audience. Let me give you that first line, though. I think you're going to enjoy this. Have you read the first line, at least?
Yeah.
I am a sick man. I am a wicked man.
An unattractive man. I'm out.
And I think my liver hurts. I think this has potential. I think that this is an exciting one. Now, I own this book. I fucking know I own this book. I know there is a copy of this in my home. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to find that copy so I can return this and get my $13.95 back and hopefully get the Canadian rate, get the $18.95.
Well, why don't you tell everyone why you're so mad that you own that book and you know you own that book?
I own this book and I am making it a point to stop buying duplicate copies of books. I have a stack of about 30 books that I've had duplicates of that I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to just find a good home for. That's fine. But I called Megan. I said, hey, we alphabetized those books. You really wanted to have the books alphabetized. Now is the hour. Do we have this
Tom
book?
Spanbauer, by the way. It's in the essence.
Do we have this? And she looked. She says, well, no. I see 2 books by that guy.
By Theodore Dostoevsky?
But not this one. And I'm like, foiled again. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to find this. Probably alphabetized in the F's or something. But no,
Did you ask her to read the titles of the ones you do have?
Yes.
What were they?
The Brothers...
Karamazov?
Yes, and the White
Knights?
White Knights, yes.
Okay.
So I know the White Knights is there. I don't know where I got the Brothers, so I'm hoping that wasn't like the suggested reading for Notes of the Underground, which is actually the book she was looking at. Yeah. But I know I own that book.
You know you own that book.
But anyway.
You're guaranteeing you own that book.
We're about wasting money here with book hauls because we're really good at doing that. Instead of, purchasing the books, we go to the Barnes & Noble and spend the full price anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's a decent haul.
Yeah.
It's not a bad haul. I think we got some quality. And you got the Hitchhiker's Guide, and that's really all that matters.
I don't know if I'm going to like that book. I don't think I am.
So I always roll around the idea of having literary tattoos. I do enjoy tattoos. I've been wanting some literary tattoos.
You're just going to get a 42.
Yeah. I've honestly thought about getting the 42. I want So It Goes right there. That's very much for a long time, but yeah, I want the 42.
I think I'm going to get a bluebird.
Yeah?
I'm going to get a bluebird sitting on his ass with his feet out, a cigar in his mouth, and his wing over a bottle of Jack.
Okay.
Because that is straight from the poem.
Do you need a bluebird guy? I got a bluebird guy if you need a bluebird tattoo right there. I do have a bluebird guy. Have I showed you that before? As nobody can see this on camera.
I am not getting that tattoo, Dalton.
I'm just saying, I got a bluebird guy.
In fact, I know where your bluebird guy got that bluebird.
Where did you get that
My aunt owns that Precious Moments doll.
Does she? I'm not gonna lie. So as we go completely haywire with this here, as like
Precious Moments tattoo.
It's not a Precious Moments tattoo. As we're getting this, a woman comes into the tattoo shop and she's like, I really want to get this done, and the guy's like, yeah, I can do that, absolutely, no problem. Gives her a price, she leaves, and the guy comes over and he sits back down. He's like, fucking Pinterest, man. I've done that tattoo 4 times this year. This is the world we live in.
What the hell? I can't believe he was cursing someone else's Pinterest tattoo while I was putting your Pinterest tattoo on you.
That's fair. Anyway, we got some good books here. We got some quality. Adrian, if you like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, if you admit its quality is wonderful, maybe we'll go get 42 tattoos together.
It's not going to happen.
I will be about it. I will be about it. Let's go to my tattoo guy.
Will it be in Comic Sans?
Dude.
Oh, if you like this sort of thing, maybe hit the subscribe button. We plan on doing a book haul every month this year. Maybe you will see some of these books pop up on the channel throughout the year. And hit the like button, if for no other reason than the fact that Dalton has a Precious Moments tattoo. And maybe we'll post credits a little scene of that tattoo.
Whatever makes you happy.
And we hope to see you next time on Strip Cover Lit.
All right. Have I honestly never shown you that?
I don't remember. Oh, I'm so glad I saw